Hey there, Facebook. So things are kind of weird here. We just drove by their man camp, and there's a bunch of barbed wire everywhere, no trespassing signs. All we need out here is one friendly farmer. We just need one friendly farmer. And if there's one friendly farmer out here, then we can establish camps. So right now is not the time for me to do that sort of thing, doing the legwork on figuring out who's a friendly farmer out here. But somewhere out here is a person who agrees with us, believes in us, understands us, and wants to be a part of supporting this movement. So if you have friends or family in Patoka, Illinois, if you know people in Patoka, Illinois, then you probably want to reach out to them. But turn this camera around and show you guys what we're seeing here. There's a number of different complexes. There's an ExxonMobil complex. There's a complex that is, it's the Enbridge complex. There's also a complex that is the Plains complex. And they're all kind of separated out in their own distinct areas. But I just was looking at it on Google Maps, and there's a there's some pipeline right there. There's what do you call it? There's only one pipeline coming into here, as far as I could tell. By looking at the satellite imagery, it looks like there's just one pipeline coming into here. So it might be that the Dakota Access Pipeline hasn't arrived here yet. These ones are pretty rusted out over here, my friend is saying. So, you know, I'm not really sure. The security here doesn't seem like it's right on top of things, but they have it pretty well built up. And so I think we just passed our first Merc. He was giving us that look like Mercs give. And here, slow down for a second, right up here. I want to get an image. There's a pipeline. There's a pipeline end right there. One of the pipelines comes out of the grounds and ends right there. So there's not a lot of people here, as far as like people out and about. You can see the parking lots are mostly empty. We're in Patoka, Illinois, and you know, this is where the pipeline ends, and that's farmland right there. So the pipeline ends right there, one of them, I'm not sure which one, and right next to it is farmland. Here's another pipeline ending right here. This pipeline ending has a water drain spout right next to it. And you can see the water comes right out here into the street. So, you know, you guys might be wondering, Marathon Pipeline LCC. So, go ahead and turn right here. That's a drill truck. That's what that is right there. That's one of those drill trucks like they just had in North Dakota. We were just in North Dakota at the pipeline up there, and so I recognize that truck from drone footage that I've seen. That's one of the drill trucks that they use to pressurize water to power the drill. So I'm not going to be answering a whole lot of questions right now for those of you who are sending me instant messages, but this right here is the British Petroleum facility. Here, slow down a little bit. This is the Chicap Pipeline Company, and there's another pipeline terminal right there. This is either the terminal or the beginning point of the Energy Transfer crude oil pipeline. It's hard to say which. I'm not really super familiar with these facilities, but we're basically just joyriding through here right now, taking a look at what's going on. And this one's the ExxonMobil. Here, turn in here. Dickey Pond Road, Vernon, Illinois. So, you know, people who are familiar with the industry might have a better grasp on what these are. I think this might be either an end point or a beginning point of a pipeline. Keep going. So that one doesn't identify the company. So yeah, if you know farmers in this area, like this is somebody's home right here. It might have gotten taken under eminent domain. It's hard to say, but people live here, you know. There are people who are from here, and they probably deal with benzene gas, poisoning. You know, I'm not certain, but my guess is that this area is, I bet there are cancer towns here. I bet that in this area there are cancer towns. I'm not sure. You might want to stop at like one of the local diners and try and talk with some people. But let's go back by the man camps. Basically, you know, these pipelines, whether they're actively poisoning the people here or not, it's hard to say. Yeah, that's a Merc that's trying to follow us right now. He just went up north, and now he's trying to figure out where we're going. We don't know where we're going, so it's going to be hard for him to figure it out. But there's bound to be people in this area who want to talk about what's happening here. So what we're going to do here, I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to slow down at each of these areas where they have signs, and we're going to get those phone numbers for you guys so you can make the phones ring. But for now, I want to go back over there by the man camp and just show you how empty the man camp is. Because one of the arguments that the pipeline companies use to justify their existence inside of our homeland is that they're creating jobs. But they're definitely not creating a lot of jobs if the man camp up here is an indicator of how many jobs they're creating. You can tell by how small it is and how few people there are occupying it that they're just not really creating a lot of jobs here. So I want to go back over by the school and then come back up the other way, and we'll turn back in and get some of those phone numbers for the viewers. So you guys, please share this out there. I want people to know what's going on. This right here is a man camp that they build these things all over the place to house the pipeline workers. And you can see how empty it is. There's like one or two trucks. There's like maybe two or three trailers, and it's pretty empty. You don't see anybody walking around or any people in there. But yeah. Oh, look, that's where the pipeline goes through right there. I'm familiar with that site. They already dug it up, put the pipeline down, and my guess is they hardened it and put railroad ties on top of it. So you can see there's standing water all over the place here, and we're coming up on a stream. Like there's running water that goes right through here. Like if any of those pipelines leak, it's going into the water. There's no doubt about it. It's gonna go straight into the rivers, straight into the aquifers. And whether the pipelines leak or not, these type of facilities, they use a lot of benzene and other lubricants in their oil to make it so it goes through the pipeline. Like, that oil is so thick and heavy and dense that it won't go through a pipeline without a whole bunch of lubricants. So one of the ones that we know of, that I personally know of, is benzene. They use a lot of benzene, and the benzene actually gets leaked into the air and goes and poisons the animals and the people and the plants right around where these types of facilities are. So if you guys saw that, you probably saw like all those pipes and all those tanks, and each one of those tanks is a place where they have benzene coming off of it. You know, they have sensors over here that tell them how much benzene is coming off of it. And I'm kind of curious to talk to someone like at the Department of Environmental Quality about how much benzene there is in the water, and how many other types of known carcinogens there is in the water table here, because there are so many of these tanks. I don't have a firm grasp on how large of a facility that is, but there are so many of those tanks that you can be certain that it's off-gassing something, and they probably keep it either within legal amounts or above legal amounts and pay the fines. But this is I would say 3/4 of a mile or a mile. It's less than a mile away from the pipes and from the tanks, and up here, keep going. Up here is school. So this pipeline terminal, or multiple pipeline terminals, are less than a mile away from this school. And interestingly enough, there goes our friend. He's definitely trying to figure out what we're doing here. He's a private security guard. He's looking at us. So slow down for a second. Patoka Community Unit School District 100. It's the home of the Patoka Warriors. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but their mascot is a native indigenous person with a headdress on, is their mascot. And so this is where children go for their education 5-6 days a week. You know, 5 days a week for sure, but probably the naughty ones come in on the weekend. And so this sign right here says, "Entering Warrior Nation." So any warriors out there, you belong here. This is your nation. It's a tobacco-free zone though, so you might have to use sage, sweetgrass, or cedar, because they don't let tobacco in. I'm pretty sure it won't be too long before the goons arrive. Like, the one security guard already saw us, and this time when we saw him, he was on his phone. So my guess is the state police or the sheriff's department or whichever local pipeline protectors there are going to show up pretty soon. So I kind of want to cut and run before it gets ugly. It's either that or just plan on being confronted by law enforcement. You know, I'm already a little traumatized to law enforcement because they arrested me for praying. But we might find a good area up here and just pray some, I think. You know, that's really the reason that we're out here, is just to pray. So, you know, anybody who's watching this video, you shouldn't take anything away from this other than a sense of peace, a sense of this point in time, this place in history. You certainly shouldn't take away any violent intentions or anything. You shouldn't, you know, this is just to record a place in time. This is not any sort of encouragement of people to do anything stupid. So this is the ExxonMobil yard. So if you look at this area on Google Maps, you can see the northern part of it, there's a bunch of water tanks. And the water at the northern part, like the ponds at the northern part, are, the water's really clean and nice. Here, pull in here, slow down and pull in here, and we'll get the number for this place. Contractors, visitors, and deliveries. And then here it says, in case of emergency, call 888-337-5002. So this is the ExxonMobil Patoka station main entrance. And they have their 5 keys to pipeline safety: accountability, hazard recognition, communication, intervention, and safety over schedule. Which tells you that there's another phone number right here. Let's see. It says Mobile Pipeline Company, Patoka Station, emergency phone number 214-742-3106. So, you know, where we're at right now, you can see there's wildlife actually everywhere. There's a robin sitting on the barbed wire fence right in front of us. But I'm not sure what the rules.
Across the way are selling chicken eggs.
Yeah, the people across the way are selling chicken eggs. They have a cell phone tower on their property, so I have a feeling they might be willing to take money over safety. But you know, I just wanted to come down here and show this to you guys. I wanted to see it for myself, because this is where the Dakota Access Pipeline ends. And I think this is where a few other pipelines end as well. This is like a central clearinghouse for pipelines. Here, pull in this one a little bit. Oh, this is the one that goes all the way through. Yeah. So this is the Capline Pipeline Company. It says 618-432-5753. 618-432-5753. That's for the Capline Pipeline. And then here we have the ExxonMobil. In case of emergency, call 888-337-5002. We already gave you that number once before. 888-337-5002. So we're just going on like a little pipeline tour, and this is where one of the pipelines ends. You can see it. That's either the ending or the beginning of a pipeline right there. And that one is Amerin IP. There's so many different companies through here, so many different corporations, and they probably have contractors and subcontractors to indemnify themselves from any sort of liability. But this is basically just like a big tank yard where pipelines pump crude oil, and the crude oil is then stored in these huge tanks, and then the crude oil is pumped out to export terminals and refineries. So you know, I'm not 100% certain that this is all crude oil. It might be that they're pumping refined gas. We'll go forward and then left and then loop around, and we'll go to like a diner or something. Yeah, I'm not sure that this is all unrefined oil, but I'm pretty sure this is all crude oil. They're going to be pumping crude oil through the Dakota Access Pipeline. And the name of okay, there's another sign up here. It's for British Petroleum. So this is for the Chicap Pipeline Company, Patoka Terminal. It doesn't have a phone number on it. Pull up, there's a phone number on that one. This is for the Patoka Terminal. It says, for non-emergencies, call 708-479-9260. So yeah, this is the British Petroleum tank yard. So far we have ExxonMobil, Enbridge, British Petroleum, Plains Pipeline, and I'm not sure if there are any other ones, but there's quite a few pipelines that end or begin here. So like if you're trying to figure out a place that you could effectively assert your rights to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to freedom of assembly, there's a lot of public space through here that a person is allowed to access. We're allowed to access it. We're accessing it right now. And it's like, this is the corner of Farthing Road and Dickey Pond Road. So if you come to the corner of Farthing Road and Dickey Farm Road, you should be, or Dickey Pond Road, you should be allowed to come here. This is public property. This is an area that everyone should be allowed to come to. It's public property. So let's see, this one's the Marathon Pipeline, Contractors Gate. It says, in case of emergency, call 1-800-852-8144. 1-800-852-8144. That's for the Marathon Pipeline. Yeah, if the Bakken is considered the head of the Black Snake, then where we're at right now is considered the tail of it. So this is the Plains terminal, and it says here that vehicles are subject to screening, and it doesn't have a phone number. There's no phone numbers here. There's no phone numbers to call anywhere. If you look up here, pull forward just a little bit more. It says, in case of emergency, and then they taped over it. There's tape over the in case of emergency part. So it tells you it's dangerous and that it's the Patoka terminal of the Plains Marketing Company, LP. And you can see that you're in the United States of America. If you're wondering, this is the USA. And there's no emergency contact number there. The emergency contact number has been taped over. So there's nobody that you can call in case something has gone horribly wrong at this location. And it does say benzene and hydrogen sulfide. Benzene and hydrogen sulfide. And the benzene, actually, it says underneath the benzene that it potentially causes cancer. So here's another one where there's no phone number for in case of emergency. It's a construction gate. That's the same one, the Marathon Pipeline. And here comes our friend, the Merc. We'll see if he gives us any of a closer scrutiny. We're on all of their cameras, so it's not like we're hiding or anything. But this is the 4th or 5th time that we've seen this Merc. Yeah, there's cameras everywhere here. But here goes the Merc again. I waved at him, but he didn't want to wave. That's okay. He's probably paranoid as fuck right now. I would be paranoid. He is? All right, let's turn around then.
Let's turn around.
Yeah. So this is for the Plains Construction Gate 4.
You can see the electronic surveillance.
No alcohol, drugs are allowed. There still is no phone number here for, oh, you honk to get in. But there's no phone number here for, the use of cell phones is prohibited in this area. Wow, that's an interesting one. So, the Merc is back. He's following us around now. He's on his phone. We'll see if he turns around and comes again. If he does, we should turn around and go the other way again. But we could just stop. We could just stop and talk to him and be like, hey, we're here to pray. Can you recommend a good place to pray? Let's go to the second one up here where it had those warnings. I want to get a good shot of those warnings. So the warnings on this sign are shocking, and it's the next one, huh? It basically tells you that they're releasing into the air toxic fumes. It says contains benzene, cancer hazard. That's crazy. I just want you guys to see that because it's unreal. It's the top left one. It says contains benzene, cancer hazard. Hydrogen sulfate gas may be present. Above ground piping. No smoking. Caution, equipment starts automatically. No trespassing. And then there's tape over the contact number. So you don't even get a contact number of who to call. It's kind of an interesting thing here. It's their safety station awareness. And notice salespeople and vendors seen by appointment only. So I guess we need an appointment, but there's no phone number on how to make an appointment. So anyway, I'm starting to feel like we need to get out of here. Even though we're in America, recent experience has shown me that law enforcement is very much... there's a hawk right there. There's a hawk. It's just like hovering above the ground right there. So yeah, a little bit of, what do you call it? Wakan, I believe, is the Lakota word. Wakan. So yeah, there's a sign that we're on the right path. But I feel like we need to get out of here. Let's go and sit at a diner and maybe just see if anybody wants to talk to us. You can see these tanks are in disrepair. They're rusting. So even though like there are a bunch of new pipeline here and there's a bunch of, oh, now he's backing up to try and stay with us because we just turned around and came at him. So now the Merc is backing up. He's actually violating the law by backing up like that.
And driving in the middle of the road.
He's definitely driving backwards in the middle of the road, breaking the law. We should call the cops on him. He's calling the cops on us, but we should call the cops on him because he's backing through an intersection. He's backing through an intersection. There's a graveyard over there. Let's go pray at the graveyard. I think that's a perfect place to pray. So this guy's from Ohio. Turn right. His license plate is PJF 4453. Pretty sure we have a right to go over here and pray. So we're going to go over to the graveyard and pray. We're going to pray that our ancestors are with us, that our relatives are with us, and that the water is protected by them. We're going to put down some prayers over here, put down some tobacco. We'll probably go pray by the water next. But actually, if we just go straight forward, then we're going to cross over where the pipeline goes. But I kind of do want to get out of here. I feel like we need to get out of here. So actually, let's not pray. Let's not pray. We'll come back and pray later. For now, let's just get out of here. Love to the ancestors. So he's following us now. The Merc's following us. That's him back there. But yeah, I think we need to go and go to a diner or something and just, yeah, go somewhere where we can be in public and where we're allowed to be. And, you know, we have all you folks as witnesses that we didn't do anything wrong. We stayed in the car. We were just reading public information to you. So we're definitely on good behavior. And there's another hawk right there. There goes another hawk. That one's, I think that one might have been a peregrine. Yeah, I think so. So again, folks who are watching, what we just did is we went to a pipeline terminal, and it's where quite a few pipelines end. And we just drove around and collected public information, documented public information, took some video of things that are happening. Yeah, the Merc followed us, so he's still following us. I'm not sure if we can charge him with stalking at this point, but I think we can. So I might get on my other phone and call 911 and report that we're being followed by a white truck. But we'll see if he stays with us. My guess is that he called the cops and that they told him to follow us. So now I'm going to call the cops on him and tell them that we're being followed. But I'm going to wait for a minute and see if anything happens, because I have a feeling, oh, that person was nice, they waved. I have a feeling that law enforcement might catch up with us, because high likelihood that Merc called the cops. I'm just going to take a minute here and look at some of your guys' comments and see what you've been saying. Pretty sure that this road goes through to somewhere. I would turn left here. "911, report him for stalking me." Okay, thank you, Sylvia. I'm gonna wait for a minute on that. I don't want to make a false report. Let's see. Just looking at what you guys are saying here. We're being pretty safe. We're staying in the car, so I don't think we're gonna shake him off. I might have a relative in that graveyard. I don't think so. I might. Most of my family's from the West Coast and the East Coast. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. We're getting out of here. Run the plates, everyone. That's interesting advice. I'm shell-shocked. Yeah, we're gonna head towards the diner. Yeah, we might try and find some farmers to talk about it. I think that's a great idea. All right, I'm glad somebody took down that license plate number in the comments. If one of you folks has a database subscription, then feel free to leverage that for this cause, because we could benefit from it. He's still back there, so he's definitely following us. No, he's not trying to block us in, so that's good anyway.
No, he illegally reversed.
He did illegally reverse. He's not trying to block us in. Yep, we're getting out of here. There's a few comments saying to get out of here. Yep, we're being careful. All right, folks. We're not lost. We're going on these back roads that I looked at this ahead of time. It makes a grid work and they all connect to the main arteries. So we're gonna be able to take this road and get to the main artery and get out of here. We just have to stick with it. Wow, there's another graveyard here. And there's another little stream. So it's not super interesting right now, guys. I'm gonna get offline and save my data for the future. But if the goon gets any closer, or if there's anything interesting that happens, then I'll come back online and let you guys see what's going on. But for now, I'm gonna get offline. I just wanted to share that with you guys, and we'll stay safe. We're gonna get to a public area. We just got back to the main road right now, and we're gonna head to a public area and sit down and see if anybody wants to talk to us. All right, much love.